everybody, and welcome to Hey, We're Talking. It's Movie Star Week, I guess. I don't know if it is really, but we're going to call it that. This week, we're going to be talking about celebrities and movie stars and people we'd like to meet, which we talked about on Monday, and people we don't want to meet, which we'll talk about today. And then on Friday, we'll have a top 5 for you, which won't really be a top 5. But we will say that it's the top 5, but it won't really be top 5. Thanks for joining us on the show today. I'm Scotty D, and I've got Derek, Tant, and Bob Peel with me, as always. Gentlemen.
Hey, that was kind of confusing about what you said, the top 5, but not really. What are you talking about?
Because we always add stuff. It's never just 5.
So you're saying we're gonna do clickbait, right?
No, that's what we do. We say top 5 because that's the intention, but we don't color inside the lines here on Hey, We're Talking. Have you noticed this?
I'm not very artistic.
Sometimes we hit the top 3 and then we run out of time, and sometimes we hit the top 12.
That's true. So it evens out.
Our standard is, hey, top 5. That's what we'd like to do if the world was perfect.
Statistically, it averages out to the top 5. So that's all we care about.
Right.
Now, I know that today Scott's just itching to talk. He wants because we're supposed to talk about like celebrities that we don't like or movie stars that we don't want to meet. And I already know that I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench into Scott.
I don't even know if there's a particular celebrity. I would have to hear them say something.
You probably would hate Leo then.
Leo DiCaprio? He doesn't actually bother me as much as I thought he would. Here's the reason why. Leo, now, see, I'm not going to talk about climate change because I don't want to get everybody in a hizzy, okay? Leo's big deal is climate change. He goes out on his huge yachts and his really expensive planes flying all over the world, and that doesn't have any effect on the climate. But anyway, Leo is really big into the climate change stuff, and he has met with all forms of political figures. So he doesn't bother me as much because he doesn't come out and say this person's an idiot or anything like that. His whole goal is just to stop climate change, which is impossible. But he really wants to stop climate change, which you can't do. It's impossible. But he wants to. So I don't have any problems with Leo.
What about Rosie O'Donnell?
Oh, she's not even a celebrity anymore, man. What is she?
I mean, she's still technically a celebrity.
Nobody cares about Rosie O'Donnell.
She has like a show, doesn't she?
No.
She had like a reality show.
No.
She had a reality show like a couple years ago.
She's pathetic.
Was like a farmer.
She's not even worth talking about. Next.
You know what? Now I thought of another person I'd like to meet.
Okay, who?
Ellen.
Yeah, I would like to meet Ellen. She'd be fun. She'd make us laugh.
I know that was Sunday's show, but it just popped into my head. I'm like, I'd like to meet Ellen. That'd be awesome.
You know who?
In reality, I'd love to meet a lot of people. A lot of famous people.
Sure.
It's fun. It's
sure.
neat.
But here's the thing. Here's my issue with meeting anybody that's famous. You run the risk of, and this is why I get so mad at the celebrities when they're like, Trump is the stupidest idiot face. I'm just like, listen.
You're right, but...
No, they're not right. Anyway, I like their art. I like their movies. I like their TV shows. I enjoy their artistic expressions. You're ruining them by coming out and telling me all this stuff. You're literally cutting off half the country by saying these things. Half of your audience you're going to possibly turn off by saying this stuff.
I don't know, man. Like, there are some artists, and I'll tell you a quick little story. There are some artists, like singers out there, who are very, very, very anti-Trump. I think the singer Cher, if you've ever looked at her Twitter feed,
who cares about Cher?
It's a mountain of insanity against Trump.
She's maniacal, though. She's stupid. She's a maniac.
When I went to see her show this year in Vegas,
I know nobody was there.
It was sold out. She did a good show. My wife, apparently is a huge Cher fan, but we went to the show, and she did the show, and she did not get political. She was, because she did kind of do like the banter back and forth with the audience.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not going to get political. I'm not
Did
going
people
to
clap?
bash anybody. Yeah, people were, I mean, it was.
No,
it was
did they
fine.
clap when she said, I'm not going to get political?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Because
That's
nobody wants to hear that crap. That's the whole point. You didn't go there to hear what Cher thinks about politics.
Yeah, but see, and it's fine if actors and actresses want to say stuff on their Instagram or their Twitter or their social media. It's not like they're doing it in their movie or in their music or anything like that. So it's not, it's, you know, they're saying this outside of their performances, outside of their art.
I don't think that's
So-
necessarily the normal. I don't think that's. I know what you're saying, but like, here's the thing: if an actor is in a movie, of course they're not going to say in the middle of the movie, just stop and go, during this scene, I'd like to make an announcement. Trump is an idiot. They're not going to do that in a movie. You've got much more possibility of that happening with people who are like singers or comedians that have live audiences. And, dude, there are tons of bands and artists that say crap at their shows about Trump.
That's true. Well,
No.
I mean, a lot of people, not just Trump, people did it against Obama. People did it. I mean, there's always that.
Who
So
said
that's
anything bad about Obama at a concert?
Have you ever been to like a Ted Nugent concert? Have you
Well,
ever
yeah,
been
Ted Nugent. Okay, I'll give you that.
I mean, there's plenty of people like that didn't agree with his agenda, and you know, I wish they'd all just stay out of it because I love the fact that I love music, I love actors and actresses and what they do, and I don't want to hear all that stuff. But you know, sometimes you get it, and some people really feel that they have the platform to do that and make change. So I don't always agree with it, but I mean that's part of.
For instance,
and
let me
that's exactly what we do here is freedom of speech.
well, let me just say this. So here's an example for you. Do you guys know who Kat Von D is?
Yeah.
Okay. Tattoo artist, famous tattoo artist to the stars and everybody else who will pay exorbitant rates to get tattoos from her. Really
Yeah.
good, talented, very talented.
Yeah, I have a tattoo by her.
You liar. So she had a contest for people to, I don't even remember what exactly they had to do, but it was for her cosmetics line. This happened this week. The person that won the contest, Kat Von D, found out that the person was a Trump supporter and then said, nope, you don't win the contest, and kicked her out of the contest after she already won the contest. That's the kind of stuff that I think that's where this political stuff gets me. Is one moment it's we want to be, you know, down the middle, we want to work together, all this kind of stuff. But when it's flipped around, when there's somebody they don't like that's in power, they will abuse you and treat you differently if you disagree with what they believe. I just wish that we lived in a society where everybody could have their own opinions, and those opinions don't have to be right. That people didn't get bullied for having an opinion. I mean, that chick, I would probably end up suing Kat Von D for holding a contest, letting me win, and then saying I was disqualified because I was a Trump supporter.
Well, there'll probably be a lawsuit at some point, I'm sure. I mean, that's pretty much how it goes. They can't do that just because you're a supporter of so and so. I mean, it doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't have a disclaimer on there that says, "Hey, if you support this political party, you're not allowed to be on anymore." You know, so and they'll work that out. But that's garbage that people pull, and they shouldn't pull that kind of stuff.
Well, let me ask you this though, because the way you're saying it. So if Kat Von D put on the official rules, if you're a Trump supporter, you can't apply. Is that okay?
No, that's illegal.
Okay.
You
Just
can't
checking.
discriminate. You can't discriminate because somebody is affiliated or likes a political party.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
they could put on there, if you like green Jello, then you're disqualified. Wait, what? How does that make sense? It doesn't. So
Green
Okay.
Jello's terrible. So all that being said, we've done the whole, you know, I remember y'all talked about this the week that I was gone, you know, athletes and people, you know, with their political opinions, you know, and how it needs to kind of stay out of the arena. We've covered this. This has been covered. So
true.
It'll get
pivot
covered
back
again too, but go
All
ahead.
right, let's shut up. Let's pivot back to the question. Celebrity / movie star that you don't like or you wouldn't want to meet, Scott, let's hear it. And you can't say Leo.
No, I would want to meet. I would be fine meeting Leo.
And you can't say Cher because we already talked about Cher.
And she's not really a celebrity. Okay.
What?
Her time has passed.
She's a pop culture icon.
I'm trying to think of somebody that's really bugged me recently. I mostly have tuned these people out because I get tired of listening to their garbage. One of the people that does bother me, and I love his movies, is Robert De Niro. He keeps saying stuff, and I'm like, okay, we get it. You don't like him. Now you can shut up. But he doesn't. He keeps going around saying stuff. So, but again, if I got to meet Robert De Niro, here's the thing that's so weird. You got to remember, most of these people say these things because somebody comes up and goes, hey, Robert. And he's like, yeah, what's going on? And they say, what do you think about what Trump did this week? And it'll be like, Trump's an idiot. And then that gets blasted all over the news, right? Most of the time, just like, for example, we have all been a part of YouTube communities and things like that. There are people who will go out and say things and cause drama, so to speak, and do things that they shouldn't. But here's the thing. When you meet with people face to face, like if I walked up, even if I would consider it an honor, even though I don't agree with the policies that the man had, I would consider it an honor to meet the president, being President Obama. I would love the opportunity to just shake his hand and say, hey, Mr. President, and shake his hand. If he had the time and wanted to sit and talk with me, I'm sure we would talk about a lot of different things, and maybe politics would come up, but most likely not. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the world, besides if Hitler was still alive or some terrorist or something, that you didn't like. I mean, is there terrorists that we do like? I don't know. I don't think there is. No, I don't like any of the terrorists. But if there were people that you meet face to face, what are the real chances that you're not going to like them, quote unquote? I mean, you're going to walk up and be cordial. They would have to do something specifically to make you go, man, what a jerk. That's a lot of times why I don't want to meet these people, is because they've got a million people trying to get to them that want to meet them and are crazy about them. I don't even know if they can be normal around people unless it's like a setup thing, like where they're like, okay, they had people that cleared you to come meet them. Like even if I went to meet Chris Pratt, if I just ran up to him on the street, I don't know what he would do. First of all, I wouldn't be running, but if I scooted as fast as I could to get to Chris Pratt,
I shuffled over
and
to
I go,
him.
Chris Pratt, Chris Pratt, hi. And he'd be like, hey, I'm with my family right now. I might walk away from that and go, what a jerk. But he's just trying to live his life. It's like
that was like when I met Pete Rose. You know,
yeah.
It was very low key on purpose because
he didn't want anybody to see him.
He didn't. He was kind of, hiding out in a corner, and I just went up and shook his hand and said, it's an honor to meet you, and that's it. I left it low key because dude's just traveling from Vegas to somewhere else, and
yep.
Didn't want to have to deal with all that crap. So.
I had a situation very similar to that in Detroit one time, and not as big of a celebrity to you guys, but in Detroit he was a big deal, and that was the coach of the Red Wings, Mike Babcock, was at a restaurant. I walked in, I saw him, he was with his family. We were standing there waiting to get a table. Like he's waiting to get a table at Red Robin of all places. He's standing there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Mike Babcock. And my brother's like, oh my gosh, it is. And so I took out my phone and I was almost going to take a picture. And his wife just gave me this look like, can't we just have our lives? And I was like, oh, I felt horrible. So I put my phone away and just kind of like, oh, I just felt so bad that I made her even have to give me the look, Like she wasn't mean or anything, but you could just tell she was like, oh no. Are all these people going to like say, Mike, can we get your autograph? All that kind of stuff. So, yeah, these are just people after all. Now, some of them may have super inflated egos, but we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Can we also talk about that maybe the era of the autograph is now dead, and now it's can I get
selfie.
A picture with you?
It's a selfie, dude.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Like the number of people that, again, speaking of running up to people, the number of young people, and I think not always just young people, that run up to Casey Neistat in YouTube videos. I don't know if you ever watched those.
Yep.
He has people jump. He's in New York City too, so he's in a very congested area filled with people. So if somebody knows him, they're like, "Hey, Casey!" And sometimes he'll stop, and sometimes he won't. So yeah,
I did ask Casey Neistat on Twitter to be on our show.
yeah, I did too.
Just letting you know.
I copied you. I was like, "Hey, might as well ask him."
Hey, and that's why I put on there like hashtag it doesn't hurt to ask, because why not? How about you, Derek? Who's somebody you would not want to meet?
I don't know. I mean, maybe he might be on the upswing, and I'm actually going to watch one of his movies tonight because it's on HBO now. This movie called Hacksaw Ridge, which I think. But Mel Gibson. Now, this guy has had his problems and was very anti-Semitic. I kind of have a problem with that a lot, but his drinking and driving and anti-Semitic ranting against the cops kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for that. Not that I'm Jewish, but just this.
Well, it's not something to make fun of.
Yeah, it's just this. You're like, ugh, kind of, that it seemed like there was a toxic quality to Mel Gibson. Now, I don't know like what he's doing lately. I mean, he did helm a major Hollywood motion picture that seems to have gotten critical acclaim. So maybe he's redemptioning himself, but I don't know. Do you know more about him?
Sounds like a Bob word, redemptioning.
Yeah, that's a Derek thing. I just use the noun and then add an ing because it's fun.
I think I think I would like to meet Mel Gibson, not because I'm anti-Semitic, but I was a huge fan of Mel Gibson, and I don't care. If people screw up, that doesn't bother me. I think everybody deserves a second chance.
Except John Travolta, because I would not want to meet him.
Only because he might try and get you to join Scientology. That's it.
Yeah, just because he's a weirdo with the Scientology stuff.
Him and Tom Cruise would tag team on you, and you'd be screwed.
Probably both of them. I wouldn't want to meet either one of them because they're just weird, man.
Again, if you just met them like passing by, like if you got a selfie with John Travolta and Tom Cruise,
he might try to eat my arm.
He won't. He won't.
He looks like he's been eating everything.
No, that's mean. Just because he's puffy, you're saying that?
Yeah, he's very puffy.
Well, what am I then?
He was awesome.
I'm extremely puffy. I'm morbidly puffy.
No, you're just fluffy.
Okay, thanks.
You're not puffy. You're fluffy.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's funny. So, Derek, seriously, you wouldn't want to meet Mel Gibson?
I don't know. Maybe that's kind of just the celebrity that popped into my head. When I was studying this episode spreadsheet 10 minutes before we went on. I'm like, oh, who do I not like? I do kind of like this John Travolta thing, yeah, because I think he got a little wacky. But someone who is wacky that I'd like to meet is Nicolas Cage. I would love to meet that guy. Oh my gosh,
that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I would love to see Nick Cage in like full on Nick Cage mode. I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Or who would be awesome would be Christopher Walken. He would be so.
The thing is, we're acting like
Will Ferrell.
I don't know.
So fun.
We're basing all of this on like the idea that we're going to spend time with these people, when in reality you're going to get a, "Hey Tom, hi Tom Cruise," and he's like, "Hey." That's about as close as we're getting. If I got to
meet Will Ferrell, we'd eat spaghetti and maple syrup together.
Oh man, see that's the thing. I would almost think that someone like Will Ferrell, now that he's not been so prolific in the last couple of years, he's probably fairly normal in real life, and he probably brings just that. He probably saves that wackiness just for his performances, and I think that's probably a lot of people. You're not gonna see a lot of their craziness because they only bring that when they're on, when they got the camera on them and they're ready to perform. I mean, you don't want to. They probably don't want to he's probably not going around doing crazy antics in Hollywood all day. He's probably just trying to be normal. So I would think someone like Will Ferrell is not, he's not going to be Elf or whatever.
But when anytime I see Will Ferrell just being himself, I smile. He's just one of those guys that makes me smile. One of my favorite ones was when he was on Jimmy Fallon, and he's in the, the Swiss cake roll. He's in the Little
He's
Debbie.
Little Debbie, yeah.
Dude, that was so hilarious. Every time I see that, I just laugh.
I didn't see that.
Oh my gosh.
Just go on Jimmy Fallon's YouTube channel and look up.
Or just look up Will Ferrell, Little Debbie.
Little Debbie.
Okay.
It's so hilarious.
I think it was on.
I never
Conan?
remember
Jimmy Fallon.
I never remember anything that you guys tell me to look up.
Great.
I remember one day we had we talked about 5 different YouTube videos, and you're like, "Oh, dude, when you get on, you need to look this up," and I don't remember.
Scott linked him in the video below.
He doesn't even watch our videos, dude.
No.
I'm in the video. I'm in it.
Don't you want to perfect your craft, Derek?
You have to watch your video to critique yourself. That's why I listen to the podcast every day.
That's how you'll get to see your faces that you make.
Inflated numbers.
Oh wow! Listen to this guy.
No.
Oh yeah,
dude, man.
No,
I downloaded it. Listen to it.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I don't like that. I used to think
Derek's so above the fray, dude. I don't know if you guys knew this.
No, come on. I've heard of some actors or actresses talk about how they don't watch the movies that they're in, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. How could you not do that? And now that I have a part of this thing, and I'm
now
part
that he's
of my
a celebrity.
Yeah, now that I'm a huge podcast guy on Hey We're Talking, I kind of get that. Like, I don't want to watch me.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I like listening to episodes that I'm not in, that you guys are in.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're fired. I'm kidding.
I listen to it to critique myself, number one.
Don't do it.
And number two, how we can make the show better. Was this a good episode? If not,
It was a
why?
good episode, but not a good episode.
I know. I
I'll
both
just-
at the same time. No,
I just let
I
you
always go,
guys-
okay, was this a good episode? Did I like it? Did I laugh throughout it, even though I lived it? And what could we have done better? That's pretty much what I take out of every show to try to make this show better.
Did Scott
Just let you
burp?
guys.
Did Derek yell at Scott?
Right.
Did Bob's microphone cut out?
Yep.
That's what we have, a little checklist, and if we hit all of those, we know we had a good episode.
I'd let you guys critique me.
Oh my gosh, what do
I'll
we
just let
say?
you-
I just make fun of your faces sometimes because you look
Your
like you're so
faces,
disinterested.
We say hi to Paige. You got a mechanical tree behind you. We pretty much go through that.
We do that stuff.
Yeah.
And the ugly pillow to your right.
We told you to get a microphone for like a year, but that didn't do anything.
Have we been on the show for like a year?
Close.
Not yet.
I don't know.
Not.
There's the burp.
Sorry. Bob has a microphone and he cuts out all the time. What incentive do I have when y'all are telling me, Derek, you got great audio. Your
Because
audio is awesome.
I have a bad computer, I believe, and we'll find out on the next episode because I'll be using a different computer.
Nice. Derek, we tried to make you feel good and say you had good audio.
Okay. Well,
We were
maybe I'll
trying to
just quit the show.
make you feel a part of the show and make you feel at home. I'm just kidding. Who cares? Hey, let's wrap it up. This is just getting into like silliness now. We are all over your internets and your telephones and your apps and whatnot. So go on Twitter at Hey We're Talking, on Instagram at Hey We're Talking. You can go on Facebook and look for Hey We're Talking. Like the page and follow us. The videos each week that we put up on YouTube will be on Facebook. You can also see us on YouTube, which is fantastic. You'll get to see all the faces Derek makes. You'll get to see me mute my microphone and like yawn sometimes when I get bored. You'll get to see Bob in his white t-shirt, which is just amazing, okay? So check us out on YouTube. Like us, leave us comments. We do answer our comments. We're available on every stinking platform you can think of for the podcast. So don't give us any excuses. You know you can listen. Go over to heywe'retalking.com and give us a thumbs up wherever there's the possibility of giving a thumbs up. We do have one person, or you can heart us, whatever that, I think it means like us or love us, whatever. And there is one person who never fails to give us a thumbs down. So I appreciate you. Even if you're just listening for like 5 seconds that it takes to give us the thumbs down, that means a lot. We love you.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. We will talk to you on Friday when we will talk about a top 5 topic regarding movie stars / celebrities. I don't want to give it away. I want you to hear it so you can be excited on Friday.